That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 80 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Well, yesterday we said there's no chance that Jerry Jones trades Micah Parsons, or at least I know I said that. And then we all got those notifications saying that no, he has been traded to the Packers, so poor Taylor Dahl in that regard. But at least your USF team, your alma mater, did get a big win last night, so there's that.
Yeah. It's when it comes, Jerry Jones is insane. But we already know that. That's something we've had a lot of discussions, even just in the month that Tommy's been on the show, a little over a month since Tommy's been on the show, of things that Jerry Jones has done wrong or people feel like he has done wrong. But it is an interesting conversation because I do think that there's been a lot of years where the players on the Dallas Cowboys are really good players. They've had a lot of good, they had that stretch of time where it was CD and Amari Cooper and Zeke Elliott and Dak was having good, he was kind of he was in his prime. And they weren't winning then, so you can't really blame Jerry for that because he was putting products on. He was drafting well, and he was putting players on that team that were successful and were good players and carried on to be good players. So it's not all Jerry, but he definitely does weird things sometimes. And I think that his reasoning for stuff is also what bothers people. And this one, he was like, "We need somebody to stop the run."
Yeah, whatever.
That's your reasoning for trading Michael Parsons. Yeah. I get in the sense we've had here, and the Jalen one is an example. They also, I think, have the same agent. So
they do. Mugoleta.
And so similar from everything that's kind of happened with this, but you also do get to the point as an organization, if a player doesn't feel like they really want to be there, then you do get to the point that you're like, I don't really want you either. It sucks to do that, but sometimes I do think that owners have to make that decision. But Jerry I think the way he vocalizes things makes people be like, you don't care about actually winning. You just care about the name of the Dallas Cowboys, which is meaning less and less to people.
Well, I don't think many believe what he said. This was a thought-out thing, and we're going to stop the run in the playoffs, and that's why we made this thing happen. The old school is not one player's greater than the team, but, man, when it comes to Micah Parsons and the production, it's just shocking that you would let him go out the door. Look, you can move him all over the defense. He's played outside linebacker. He's played inside backer. He can go against the guard. He can run around a tackle. I mean, he is really that kind of player. You want to talk about a generational type player. I mean, the stats back it up. Reggie White, I remember when that went down way long ago. You're like, what? They're going to let him go? And, of course, he ends up in Green Bay. But,
Hall of Fame.
I don't know. That's the problem with Jerry. He gets in his own way. I know his son is listed as the GM, but he's the one. He's pulling all the shots. And not that he doesn't know football or knows what he's doing, but I think his ego gets in his way. And then it becomes a push and a pull and a tug. And then okay, fine, you're out of here. And I'll get a couple draft picks and I'll spin it in a way that makes me look good. It makes the team look good. And, you're off on your way,
Yeah, 2 first-rounders that are most likely going to be in the late 20s, I would say. Maybe early 30s if they make it all the way to the
That's an easy
Super Bowl.
package to get up if you want to, though. You do have 2 possible late picks to get up. And if you see something this next year that you really want in that top, those 2 are getting you into the top 5.
Yeah.
And so I do think that...
Which would be a quarterback, and then you have to wonder...
Maybe, unless you have another Travis Hunter, not saying like a double guy, but somebody who's just extremely can't miss, which you do every year. There's those at the top. So, and I do think that, to your point, Tommy, when it comes to Jerry being the owner, he's the GM. He's making those decisions. He's also making the owner decisions. And because of that, he has the ability to think long term in situations. He doesn't have his job on the line if things don't go right this year or next year. He's safe. He just gets to kind of do this type of thing. So for him, he does get to say, okay, well, if this works out for me and if we can get whatever that next star player is and we get somebody who wants to be in Dallas or we get multiple players out of this, whatever the case may be, he can do that and he doesn't have any concern. If it was a normal general manager doing something like that, if this went bad in this next year or 2, he's gone.
Right.
Yeah, I just would be so frustrated as a Cowboys fan because your goal is to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If that's not your goal, then you look long term and you think about the future. But you should be, as the Dallas Cowboys this year, you should be planning and acting like you're trying to win the Super Bowl. And trading away Micah Parsons is not going to ever get you better. That's at least in my opinion. You cannot trade away that type of pass rusher.
No, I agree. And he's more than he's good against the run, too. I mean, look, go out and get a big defensive tackle, Jerry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can't stop the run, it's not because Micah Parsons is not making enough plays for you. You know, you got to have the beef up front. We always talk about that. So go get a defensive tackle. Draft one. I don't know. Go find one in free agency. I mean, look, Kenny Clark 2 years ago was considered a really, really good defensive tackle in the NFL. He had like 7-8 sacks. He's really active. Last year he only had one, but he played every game, so maybe he was battling injuries. I don't know. He's a good player. You know, he's not a dominant, run-stuffing defensive tackle. All of a sudden they're going to stop the run in Dallas. So, when I saw that quote from Jerry, I was like,
you're like a liar.
Come on, you're spinning.
He's just trying to calm them as much
we
as
say
possible.
spin and yarn up in Boston. He's spinning yarn on that one. He's making stuff up, and it's not, I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, Green Bay, bold move to go get somebody that you feel that can take you over the edge. You must feel extremely good about your quarterback. Obviously, with Josh Jacobs, the running back, you drafted a first-round wide receiver. You know what I mean? You must feel really good to make this kind of move and mortgage that future. Wherever those picks end up being, you're saying, okay, well, he's the guy maybe he's the missing link. And now I don't know if I'm going to all of a sudden put him ahead of everybody else in the NFC, but they're definitely more in the running with him added to the team. So hats off for Green Bay for being bold and going after him.
Yeah, I agree. If you're the Packers, you're looking up at the Eagles right now in the NFC. And what do the Eagles have? A ton of really good players on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, offensive side too, but that's obviously the side of the ball we're talking about. Taylor, obviously, is a Bears fan. I'm sure that the moment you saw Packers, you were ready to throw up.
Yeah, it sucks. It's just, but also part of it is, number one, I had already heard that this was like in the works. So
they
all
agreed
day
to
long,
it 3 days ago.
Yeah, all day long you had been hearing rumors and someone reported it. So I was kind of more so just like waiting for it to officially come out. So by the time it did, I was like, I had a feeling this was about to happen. And I knew it wasn't going to be Chicago. There was Bears fans like, oh, why didn't Ryan Poles do that? But Jerry Jones was very vocal. He wanted a top-tier defensive tackle in the trade, or one of the top-tier defensive tackles. We just don't have that. The Bears just don't have that right now. They have a Javon Dexter who's young and I think will be that, but he's not there yet to signify a Micah Parsons trade right now. And he was very specific about who he was talking to in trades and what he wanted out of that and what he was looking at. So I do think there was probably only like 4 or 5 teams that were really on his list that made sense. And so I didn't think that was ever going to happen, but there's a ton of pass rushers in the NFC North already. So to me, this didn't change things too much. Like, it was kind of like, yes, he's going to make that team better, but the Bears already, that's why they spent a ton of money in the offseason and have drafted a lot of offensive linemen, because that was already a thing. You already have Aiden Hutchinson. Now they just added Jonathan Allen. You have Davenport in the division. You have Jonathan Grenard in the division. There's already a lot of really good pass rushers.
Go Gator.
In that division. So it was already something you were planning for and around. And so that was kind of part of it. But I do think you give credit, and I hate Green Bay with every single part of my being.
Yeah.
But you give credit to them. And I was talking to Joe about this during Crosstalk. They don't have that owner. They're publicly owned. So it's a situation where everybody in that building is just there for wins. They're not worried about, how much money can we make off of this or that, or the brand name. Like, it's the Green Bay Packers, and everybody in that town, that's what they're all about. But they want to win, and there hasn't been a lot of losing seasons in Green Bay. You can talk about, they haven't won the Super Bowl now since 2011, so it's been a bit since that, and the fans are even antsy about that. Like, yeah, you can win 11, 12 games, but when are we going to get another Super Bowl? We've had back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and each of them only had one. So they're starting to get antsy in the aspect of it's time to win again and win the Super Bowl again. That's the difference between Green Bay and Dallas, is that I think the ownership, when you don't have that guy who's controlling every single thing and making the picks, you get to have the football guys making all of the decisions, and it's benefited them a lot.
Well, you're definitely in a win-now situation with this trade. You don't make this trade unless you were ready to go right now and feel like you can contend this year, right? And not just this year, but the next few years, you're going to be a contender, and he's going to be the guy that helps you get there. Yep. And he can be. I mean, he can wreck up a game. There's no doubt about it, and give that offensive side of the ball more, chances. They've got a decent quarterback. I mean, Jordan Love's pretty good. He was really good 2 years ago. Not bad last year. obviously they got to, hold it up together up front. I will say, since being on this show, I pay a little bit more attention to the Bears, I know their tackles have struggled a little bit, so that may be a problem.
The left tackle
that may be a problem with Micah Parsons coming to the division. They're going to have to fix that.
They'll definitely give him help. That's one thing Ben Johnson even did in Detroit a lot. He had a ton of times where there was an extra tackle in a lot, or 2-3 tight end. They'll do double or triple tight end sets or an extra. So he's definitely going to have to do that. But he had to do that with Aiden Hutchinson, where we had to do that already with Aiden Hutchinson before he got hurt on the other side of the line. So I do think that there's a plan. You're not ever going to stop Micah Parsons. That's the thing. There's multiple pass rushers in this league, like a Trey Hendrickson, like a Micah Parsons, like a Myles Garrett, a TJ Watt. You don't stop those guys. You just try and slow them down as much as possible. So that's all you can really hope happens.
To contain them is all you can do.
Yeah.
Right?
Keep them off your quarterback. However, whatever way it takes. I'm sure y'all saw this stat that Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys in 1989 for $140 million. And Micah Parsons' deal was 4 years, $188 million. Look, we knew that all these people would get paid. The Trey Hendricksons, the TJ Watts, we knew that they would, and Myles Garrett once upon a time too. The question now becomes, to me at least, who's the best of that group? That's what I'm fascinated to figure out when it comes to the season. And is Josh Hines-Allen in that conversation? Is Trayvon Walker in that conversation? Certainly, it'll be fun to follow. All right, we have more to do on the other side, including Tom's takeaways. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Lee and Kate's Glass, Friday on Helmets and Heels. Get an inside look at football's greatest position with Denny Thompson.
I'm Denny Thompson, and they call me the quarterback whisperer.
He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Tuned up by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. It's always truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Well, this month, you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership at Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. Went smooth as silk. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Come celebrate kickoff of college football with the Frangie Show. Friday from 4 to 6, we'll be at the Poor Tap Room in downtown at Laura and Forsyth. You can win Florida-Tennessee tickets. Friday, 4 to 6 at Poor Tap Room downtown.
Football is a game of inches, and at Front Runners Tap House, every inch counts. Catch every big play on their massive 396-inch giant television. The ultimate game day experience is waiting for you at Front Runners Tap House inside the Community First Igloo.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Bernardino Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Bernardino Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credits plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Hey, it's Vegas time. This is former Jags linebacker Tom McManus from Helmets and Heels, and we want you to come and join us once again in Las Vegas for the Raiders game weekend. If you've not been to the Circus Stadium Swim, you're missing out on 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive 143-foot screen with all the current sports betting action. Plus, all you Jaguar fans are invited to huddle up with Helmets and Heels at the Overhang Bar with our pregame tailgates on Friday with drink specials and special giveaways.
Lauren Brooks here. Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, and myself will be broadcasting Helmets and Heels live on air from a stadium swim cabana on Friday, October 31st. Then hosting the wildly popular Jacksonville Huddle Up Friday evening at the Overhang Bar inside Circa. If you were there last year, you know you won't want to miss it. If you've already booked your flight to Vegas for the big game and are still searching for accommodations, stay where we're staying at Circa Resort and Casino from October 30th to November 3rd.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Surprise you, but I went through a Kid Rock phase when I was younger.
You ever see him live?
I have never seen him
He
live.
was here. Gosh, it must have been 10, 15, maybe longer. He was incredible. He played every instrument. He went around he drums one time, guitar, keyboard, piano, singing the whole time.
That's incredible.
Yeah, he was insane.
I bet
great.
he's a good performer.
Yeah.
For some reason, there was something wrong with my car back in high school, and the speakers weren't, the stereo didn't work for this brief period of time. I want to say I got an oil change or something. Anyway, I went for 2 weeks without my stereo system working. So what do? Naturally, you have a boom box.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, we didn't have as many, I think on the boombox, we had to have CDs, but I didn't have as many CDs as I had tapes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we had the Kid Rock CD that we played. I drove my best friend to high school, and then I drove my brother and his best friend to high school. And literally, we listened to the Kid Rock CD every day for those 2 weeks.
That is so funny.
On the way there and on the way back.
See, we were the cassette boombox.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
So you could have it with a disc. You might
It would
have to get
skip,
a little,
yeah.
It would skip a little.
Yeah.
Interesting. How different eras.
I know.
I'm old enough, though, that I used to make mixed tapes, mixed cassette tapes. You would listen to the radio.
Record.
You'd hit,
I would do that, too.
Yeah. And so you'd always want them to give you a little bit of time before they would start playing the song.
Yeah.
You didn't want them to be all right, here's the chicks playing, whatever. And then, because you had to hurry.
You missed the beginning of the song.
Correct.
Some of my stuff, it would be the first 20 seconds isn't there.
You were doing that, too?
Yeah. I did,
golf at midnight or something?
I did the tail end of it, and then CDs started becoming really popular, and that's when LimeWire came out. So I crashed all my parents' computers with LimeWire.
I made a lot of mixed CDs. That was easy. And now, of course, playlists. These kids don't even know what we went through.
I know. I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, I kind of want to make burnt. My car still has a CD player, and I'm like, I kind of want to make some burnt CDs because it was fun that way. You would forget, you'd make a mix CD. Some of them I would have all of the titles, but some of mine I would just be whatever mix. And then so you'd put it in. It was kind of a surprise of what was going on. And you're like, which one did I put on this CD? And so it was kind of fun. I'm like, I might just do that for my next road trip, make a little CD case of some of the best ones, but I don't know even how my computer doesn't have anything to
I was
burn
going to say, I don't think I don't think there's software anymore to be able to burn them. Even though I technically pay for Spotify, I can't download those onto something else. I can just keep them on Spotify only.
Know.
Tom, I've told Taylor this, but this is how much of a dork I was. In college, I had the software to be able to print my mixed CD labels. I bought labels and I had the software to be able to print them. And so I would put every single song and artist and then print and have not emojis, but whatever graphics, and I would make that. So when I made someone a mixed CD,
It
would
would
be printed. I was such a dork, and I'm not sure that I've changed. I think I am still such a dork.
If we had to do that, you would still be doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you make a mixed CD, I will.
I would do that for some.
I will label it.
I would do that, but I liked the surprise. Like I would be like, "Here's my like punk rock CD," and it would just be like a mixture, and it was fun for me to like kind of forget the order. But
once you
so I
put
like them
the
both.
CD in, you can't see what's on it anymore.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mine's more like VHS tapes. I have a ton of those from
and you
games
can
and all
turn
types
those
of stuff.
into, I think,
like DVDs now, and probably just on a like
something.
USB now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I need to do that. I got a ton of them somewhere.
My grandma
in
has
the universe.
Somewhere in a box.
In the cloud. No, I'm just kidding.
That's where they need to be.
in the cloud.
That's where they need to be, right?
Exactly. All right, time now for Tom's takeaways.
Now,
Okay, it's go time.
Tommy's Takeaways. Jacked up by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We are here for you. Veteran owned and operated.
My takeaway today is, hey, listen, if you're a big name NFL player and you want more money or want to get out of there, just fake a back injury and you can have it too. No, I'm just kidding. My takeaway is for Trayvon Walker. Hey, man, keep going. Keep going. You see what's ahead of you. You may not get up to 47. I'm not saying that. Maybe you will. Who knows? But
47 million.
Yeah, 47 million. You got a big year ahead of you. And that's what look, you already seen what Josh Hines-Allen received, and you're on your way to your triple, your third year with double digits, hopefully even more than 10. I think you're an aspiring star on the defensive line. I do think you're a complete defensive end, run and pass. And you keep going, you stay healthy, young man, you and your family will be set for life. That is for sure. So one good thing, there are a lot of good things, but one good thing out of the Micah Parsons deal is if I'm Trayvon Walker, I'm sitting there going, okay, I see what's ahead of me. That's a nice little carrot. I may not get all that, but I'm going to get as much as I can. And he's got all the ability to do just that. And that's my takeaway today on this beautiful Friday, brought to you by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Yeah, we did some bold predictions last year, and mine was that Trayvon Walker would have more sacks than Josh Hines-Allen, which now in retrospect, or I should say not in retrospect, now looking ahead, I think that's going to be the case every year. As long as they play together, I think Trayvon will beat out Josh as far as sacks are concerned.
I think this year it flips. Okay, because and here's the thing. It's funny. When we talk about Josh Hines-Allen last year, we think about think how many times they've rotated him out of there. He wasn't on the field and third down. Well, guess what? Same for Trayvon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think Josh
Right, yeah, people forget that they were both on the sidelines at times.
Right,
Yeah.
no doubt. Right. And they were
time.
goofing around with the rock, paper, scissors. Right.
yeah.
But I think, Josh has got to bounce back to that 15 sack.
Yeah.
That's what they're paying him for. They're not paying him for 8. They're not paying him to be second on the team. They're paying him to be a disruptive force against the run and to get after the quarterback. And great. Hurries are great. Pressures are great. Hits are even great. I love hits more than sacks first. But, if you're hitting a QB, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think pressures get a little overrated in my book, but hitting that QB and getting them down on the ground. So I know me and Tony were looking at it from 2 years ago when Josh had the monster year.
Mm-hmm.
His hurries were massive, his hits were massive, and his sacks were as high as he could be. The next year, not like a third different, right? Almost had to have to a third difference less. Now, that could be a couple different things.
Weight,
being off the field a lot.
Yep.
So you got to commend both of them for what they did do when they were on there. But now I think it's going to be different because, I think he's going to be, they're in both great shape. They look phenomenal.
Shape,
very athletic looking and look very strong at the same time. And I think they're going to thrive in this defense. Listen, I love blitzes, but you know what that also means? That those blitzers got to be accounted for, which means what? My outside guys get more one-on-one matchups, and we're going to expect them to win. So I think it's going to be close. I'm thinking 15-13 maybe.
Okay.
And wouldn't that be fantastic?
Oh, yeah.
For both of them to be in that kind of range. And I think they're capable of doing it. I do think having Eric Armstead on the inside makes their case to get there even more because he's a problem. And not many guards can handle him one-on-one. They just can't.
I think Mason Smith is going to blossom too. I mean, we saw him get 3 sacks at the end of last year when he finally played.
Yeah,
so,
whoever that other tackle will blossom or flourish from everything around him.
Right, and Colin Saunders, the addition of him and Austin Johnson obviously too.
Yeah.
But for me, Colin Saunders, I just feel like having the rotation that that nose tackle position is so incredibly important. Like Devon Hamilton needs to sometimes go off the field and get a break.
Yeah, I think that you have a lot of guys now who are capable of getting to the quarterback, and they're playing in the spot where they're known for getting to the quarterback. Even in Agba has been, the years he's been a rotational guy, he's been more productive than the years that he's had to be the guy. And so some guys are like that in the NFL. I think when they're just more, that's what they're doing. You're set, go get the quarterback on these certain downs or situational downs or when someone needs a rest. And Agba, if you go back, his numbers are about the same, but he did one as a starter and one as a rotational piece. So if you have him in there, you have someone like that. You have Smoot, who we've seen in this preseason and in practice look really good. So you have guys on the outside who can also add the pressure. But then, the inside's huge because that's something that's just been massively lacking here is not having that interior pressure and how much it helps the outside guys.
Not just the pressure, but stopping the run. Because if you stop the run and then we'll credit Brian again, your husband, about the NASCAR. Think about it. They didn't have a NASCAR package last year.
No.
You can't have a NASCAR package if you don't stop the run. It just doesn't happen, right? When you get them in second and long, when you get them in third and long, that's when you can say, all right, get my best pass rushers out there, put the big guys on the guards, the fast guys outside, and let's go get them. And that when you got that, now you got something. I think they're capable of that. I really do, man. I think the more I think about their D-line, I think that they have the opportunity to be a really formidable defensive line. When you have that, and if they have the attitude, which I think they're going to have, because I think Liam has the attitude. He wants to fight. He wants a physicality. He doesn't look it. You know, he looks more like he's kind of in the books kind of deal. I don't want to call you a nerd or anything like that, Liam, but he's not. He's totally cool.
Goofy.
I'm saying, like, goofy nerd, whatever. kind of same kind of thing.
I mean, like, I
don't mean it so negatively, but I love the fact that he wants physicality. You know what I mean? And look, he's a Massachusetts guy, so you kind of understand that. At least that brand of football. He was a great college quarterback, and they were a physical, that was physical football.
He wanted to play
back in the day
in the NFL, but he ended up having an elbow injury, and that prevented him.
He set all the records at UMass, Amherst, or I think it was UMass, right? Yeah,
UMass.
It was UMass. So I like the fact. So I think our D-line, and when you have that, remember when he talked about guys coming off the bus? Well, coming off the bus when you don't know if when they're not dominant, it's not that impressive. But when they come off the bus and you know they're dominant, and then you look at them, you're like, oh, man, like this is going to be a big, challenging day for us because not only do they look the part, they're playing the part. And let's be honest, we haven't had that in a few years, at least in the middle.
I feel like some of the fashion makes them not look as intimidating. Not just Jaguar players. I mean,
the athletes in general.
I mean, Joe Burrow obviously is intimidating, but some of his outfits, I'm like, I wouldn't have picked that for you.
And that's why I was so mad at Ryan Nielsen, and I'm still so mad at Ryan Nielsen because I was saying this last year because I was saying, Devon Hamilton's back. You get Eric Armstead. He's one of the best interior defensive linemen. You just drafted Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson and Roy Robinson-Harris, who they also played at the wrong position, by the way. That's who you technically should have been playing edge. They kept putting him on the inside, which made no sense. And so there were so many things that I was like, if they do this right, it could be a really good defensive line. And Ryan Nielsen screwed everything up. And so I like that what we've seen from Coach Campanile, at least through practices and preseason, looks like he was probably watching film of last year and like, what was he doing? Like none of these players were where they were supposed to be playing.
If we have a good season this year, the Jaguars have a good season this year, I feel like we need some sort of like cleansing of last year. Like we need to like throw all those scores on a piece of paper and like light them on fire and be like, we're not even going to talk about 2020. Kind of like how we did with the Urban Meyer season.
Yeah.
We all just wanted to move on and not talk about it anymore. And so I feel like that's going to be, if this team ends up being good, especially if they get off to a good start.
Well, let's put the names on the defense as well. Throw them into the fire for the record too, because they were the ones screwing it up as well.
That's true. Right? You're right. It wasn't just coaches.
Wasn't
absolutely.
Just the coach.
Yeah. But they were
sage theirs.
But there were a lot of
we need incense and sage. Absolutely.
Bring the ghosts in, the good ghosts.
All right, we'll continue the Jaguars conversation. Hayes Carlyon caught up with Jaguars wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. yesterday, so let you hear a couple cuts from him. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010X on 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels. Opened up by Lee and Kate's Glass.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein and Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
E to the T here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find the scratch kitchen that comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar. Come on, somebody.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. From estate cleanouts to furniture and appliance removal, we handle it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
60 days from now, you'll be one of these two guys. The first guy, sluggish, foggy, and feeling like he just can't keep up like he used to. The second guy, driven, strong, and confident. Why? Male Excel's breakthrough microdosing protocol, a daily low-dose testosterone. You don't have to be the first guy anymore. Be the second guy. Take the same steps he took. Try MaleExcel.com. 100,000 men chose wisely. Your move.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Really enjoyed the college football last night. Like I mentioned, USF just destroyed Boise State. Goes to show you just how good Ashton Genty was there.
Oh, yeah.
But also, when you're a Florida fan watching it from that perspective, you know, that big game coming up against Long Island first tomorrow night, but then South Florida in a week. We talked about Byron Brown, the quarterback, and how good he is. He obviously had 2 rushing touchdowns, but also they have a really talented wide receiver. Nimrod is his last name. Chaz Nimrod.
I know. I laughed when I saw that.
Yeah, as well
What a Nimrod.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, he caught 3 passes for 96 yards.
Yeah.
3 passes, 96 yards. He didn't have any touchdowns, but still, Florida's going to need to circle him and have their best defensive back take him on.
I think that game just cements it, just reiterates they should not be ranking these teams.
Yeah.
And I know it's 25th,
No,
so
I
it doesn't
agree.
really matter. But
Right,
how do you know they're the 25th team in the country? You don't. You're kind of guessing.
You go off of last year.
Yeah,
and
right. So
you
to me,
hope
that's
that-
like, I don't know.
Right, and like Florida State's unranked. If Florida State beats Alabama, then Florida
they're-
State should be ranked, and maybe Bama shouldn't be.
Well, and Florida State was ranked 10th at this point last year, and then we saw what happened for that season because they base it on, to me, they base it too much on the season before and not really what happened through that offseason.
Right.
So that's interesting. That's why you
Especially
shouldn't, because you don't know. If there's new quarterbacks, quarterbacks. You can't rank them properly. It doesn't make any sense to do it. But I do think that USF, I mean, they're defensively, they looked really good too. They were forcing several fumbles. Yeah, they were, and that's, I mean, you kind of see they have that type of mindset is attack the ball type of mindset, which is that's what you with that type of program, that's what you want to do, and especially going against a team like Florida, if you can force some Florida mistakes, that's what they have to do next week.
Sure, and we all saw last year DJ Lagway tended to throw the ball away at times, but obviously as a true freshman, and he wasn't expected to start because Graham Mertz was. Quick note about, since we're talking about Florida, Kevin O'Sullivan, the longtime baseball coach, will serve a 3-game suspension to start the 2026 season. He was reprimanded by the NCAA after he screamed at one of those officials when it came to the tournament. And there was a lot of weather delays and there was an issue. They moved the baseball game up. Kevin O'Sullivan wasn't happy, but Scott Strickland, the AD, went ahead and did a school-imposed 3-game suspension for Sully. So it was during that Conway Regional. Like I said, there were a lot of weather issues, but you still can't treat people like that. You can't berate them. And of course, once someone catches it on camera, then it absolutely
everywhere
goes viral.
went viral. And now your program's attached to that incident. And that's what Strickland doesn't want.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I didn't know it was from the school. I thought it was from the NCAA. So if it was from the NCAA, I'd be like, yeah, come on. He's just yelling at the guy. But from the school, I get it. Like, that's not a good image, you know. Although
and
a little
ump was
yelling
probably
never
like,
hurt
I can't do anything about this. Like, the weather is doing this. The ump was just being told what to do, and he did it, and Kevin kind of flipped out.
Yeah.
Or did flip out.
It's like those little league coaches screaming at those 15-year-old umpires. They don't know what they're doing. They barely read the rule book, for crying out loud. They're trying to make $8 an hour. I was one of them, for the record. Yeah. I didn't study it all. I didn't know any of the rules. They were screaming at me.
I don't want to incite the baseball people, but I feel like of all the sports, not having your head coach of baseball, like obviously manager in professional, but head coach in college, like of all the sports, I feel like baseball is the one that you can get by the most. Like the easiest. I feel like not having your head coach in football or your head coach in basketball.
Well, if your head coach is like a play caller, especially in one of the football games, then it matters. But in baseball, you're still making the decisions of when to pull, certain pitchers and that matchup.
Can do that.
But they're not head coaches, so people you don't just trust a guy to make those decisions. And then there's a lot making the lineups and things like that before that you don't get to be involved in that stuff if you're in your suspension period.
But I feel like managers or head coaches, the feisty ones, they get ejected a lot. So like you're used
missing
to
pieces of games.
You're used to not having them and having someone else step into that role. Because I mean, obviously we see that in Major League Baseball all the time. And Kevin O'Sullivan is a guy that I feel like gets ejected fairly often.
I just feel I don't know baseball strategy, like how much strategy goes into game in and game out. Now the lineup matters and who pitches matters, right? Against who you're going against.
You've got to think it's like, okay, if you're going against a right-handed pitcher, if you're going against a right-handed batter, a lefty, there's certain lefties that can't hit against left-handed pitchers. So sometimes they baseball is very strategic in everything they do. And there's a lot of rules, obviously, in baseball. Like Major League Baseball has changed so much. If you have to face, X amount of batters, you have to do this. And so they've changed it to where it's not as crazy, I think, as it used to be. But there's still a lot that goes into prepping. The bigger thing for me is that 3 games in a baseball season is time.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
3 games in a college football season feels way bigger.
Yeah, right.
And usually, obviously, they're not starting with SEC opponents. Yeah. Usually, you're starting with a lesser opponent to start the season. A lot of time, it's the northern schools that come down because it's still freezing cold, and so it's not usually as high of competition. Yeah. And unless they start with like Miami or something like that.
It's a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
And he's just saying, hey, man, you can't talk like that. I'm just going to sit you down.
I've got to do something to show.
I got to do it.
It's school imposed, so Sully can still text his coaches.
Get your presidential suite at the hotel. You and your wife can hang out. I don't know. I will say, I don't know if you need a head football coach in football.
If he's the play caller, to Taylor's point.
If he's the play caller, right. But if he's not, I don't, if you need him.
I feel like it depends on what the head coach's role is on game day. If it's a lot of the number, counting the numbers on the field, usually you have a different person to do that. But I bring that up because
fourth down calls, going for a field goal or not going.
I bring that up because Florida had 2 number 3s on the field 2 years ago during special teams, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a penalty in case you weren't aware. All right, Hayes Carlin caught up with Jaguars wide receiver 1, Brian Thomas Jr., after practice yesterday, and he was asked, we've talked a lot about whether or not Brian Thomas Jr. had a good training camp, right? Because we've seen a lot of drops, and we've also seen just how frustrated he was at times through a helmet. Yep. Certainly, you could visibly see how frustrated he was. So he was asked if he was happy with his training camp performance.
Yeah, like I said, I wanted to come out here and keep improving each and every day, and I feel like I did that. Started off kind of slow, but like I said, just come out here and keep improving each and every day, and that was my biggest goal, and I feel like I did that.
Yeah, I think he got better as it went along. Towards the end, it felt more comfortable. There were some drops where you're like, wow, he normally doesn't drop that. But then he goes to Miami and everything's fine.
Then you're hearing all the good stuff.
Everything's good now.
I really think Jordan Lewis had a big factor. Jarian Jones too, but I think the addition of Jordan Lewis really at times the way that he approaches I would say he approaches not just looking at the quarterback, but also Brian Thomas Jr. I think that was a little different for them for the offense to go against a guy like that.
Which is good. You're going against a lot of good secondaries. I mean, I just read the stat yesterday about Texans secondary and what they do when it comes to especially the deep balls. But I do think with Brian Thomas Jr., the concern for me early was I felt like every contested catch he wasn't getting. And then it turned into we were seeing some drops. And so there was okay, what's going on there? But then it did feel like things started kind of coming together. And we weren't in Miami, so we couldn't see all of that. But everything we heard was he was the best player out there against the Dolphins. So what that means, I don't know, because I don't know what the Dolphins defense is really going to look like. But I do think that you have to take it. Maybe he is, and we've said this, maybe he's just that guy when it's that when the level of competition and whatever, when the lights turn on type of thing, it's just that's go time.
Not a lot of lights,
that's go time for.
Well, look,
when the sun turns on.
Not to get but maybe the ball, because Trevor's mechanics got better, maybe it was coming in different for him and he just wasn't used to it. You know what I'm saying? That could be
for sure.
I'm not saying velocity either. Yeah. It could be anything. It could be where the ball is, how high, high, low, whatever. And then they started clicking though as time went on. It was you're right about the DBs, because remember all we talked about, they're contesting a lot of balls. Yeah. Then it flipped a little bit. The offense caught up, and then towards the end it was a good one-on-one. Those red zone drills towards the end of camp,
wins
very
on each
competitive.
Side. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, both sides would win in those. Yeah.
I just think the secondary obviously has been improved, but I just think especially that Jordan Lewis, the way everyone talks about him too, whether it's Liam Coen or Brian Thomas Jr., I do think the addition of him is really important. All right, speaking of defense, what does the Panthers defense bring here, BT?
Yeah, they play a lot of different coverages. They got a pretty good defense, and I mean, they got a lot of new dudes out there. So just come in, lock in on them next week, and be ready to go for whatever they throw at us.
You have to be just so
He's
excited.
Being so nice.
Yeah, and you have to be so excited though to finally have game film to prep and a game plan to input, and not
just your team,
right? And not just go through the motions. We know that they go through the motions in the preseason. I mean, they told us that. Basically, Trayvon Walker told us that after in different words, but after the Steelers game, we didn't practice for up-tempo. We didn't have a game plan. We're not game planning against the Steelers. It's a preseason game. We're still just working on our own install, basically. All right, one here from Trevor Lawrence. He spoke with media yesterday after practice, and he talked about the huge steps that he's taken with BT.
It's just a testament to the amount of work that he's been putting in. And out here on the practice field, and you guys seen every practice, so you guys have a good perspective on just the whole thing. It's not every day is going to be clean and perfect, and just because whether it's me, BT, Travis, group up front, tight ends, whatever it is, there's going to be days where you have stuff you got to figure out, and there's a new system, there's new plays you're running, and so there's been some stuff that me and BT have kind of had to iron out, but just through reps, whether that's after practice, in the film room, talking about every single look, I really think we've taken some huge steps because we tried to do this last year, and obviously it was a different system. I get hurt, so we didn't get a full year, and then now it's a new system, and trying to build that chemistry and the rapport again, and it's been awesome. I like where we're at right now, but it's about the whole season getting better. It's not about just where you're at week one. We got a long year.
Yep. I also thought it was funny. They asked him if he and BT have a bet on LSU Clemson. And he's like, no, we haven't even talked about that. And I'm like, good. That means you're focused on Jaguars football.
On week one, which we need to be. Yeah. And that's what I think that when you go back, Trevor obviously missed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. And out of the 8 weeks, he played that one middle game, and then we saw him go down. And so I do think that when you look at that technically.
Go down by force.
Yeah. Get it? Yeah, that was thank you. I almost said Aqib Talib. I don't know why that was in my
I love Aqib
but
Talib.
I don't like Aqib Talib. But so technically, though, you go back, and that was November 10th. Other than that, Trevor barely played. He threw 10 passes in that next game before he was taken out.
He wasn't very good before the hit.
He wasn't.
It wasn't Brian
a good
Thomas
start.
on a deep throw.
So you could tell he wasn't 100% anyways in that game. So if you think about it, since actually November 3rd of last year, they hadn't played a game together. So, and before that, we've had the discussions of maybe they didn't even have the strongest connection anyways. Brian Thomas Jr. started getting going after that when it was with Mac Jones. Mac Jones. And so I do think that it was going to take a little bit of time. I don't know if you could come into this offseason expecting them to like right away. And I know they spent time together before we hit training camp, and I think that was good. It was probably a positive thing for them to start getting things kind of flowing a little bit, but I think it was expected to take a little bit of time for those two and other receivers too to really start to click.
Well, it's all based on timing, especially Liam. So maybe just when to anticipate the ball coming in, when I'm going to throw it. That may just take it a little bit and doing it on air is only so good because there's real timing in practice.
Sure.
It's not like you can pat the ball 3 times and then throw it. It's like one time maybe and then throw it. It's just a lot quicker. So they're getting it worked out. And look, remember last year, the first game, they had chemistry. That beautiful touchdown pass to Brian Thomas was absolutely incredible. So hopefully they can regain that quick and early and get after it.
It's called target Brian Thomas in the first quarter,
right.
please.
Let's start there.
Which it didn't do last year. All right, Taylor Dahl has a tangent on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Lee and Kate's Glass.
Friday on Helmets and Heels.
Start the season with a college football storm. The Hurricanes and Fighting Irish. Tradition, talent, and touchdowns. Miami, Notre Dame. Sunday night at 7:30 on Jacksonville's college football station, 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Cleaning Freaks at Zero Res. Great time of the year to get your house Zero Resified. And right now, you can get your entire home clean from Jacksonville's ultimate carpet cleaner. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Plus, they're throwing in a free hallway and take $100 off the air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K. October 3rd through 5th at Timuquana Country Club. Catch the new community concert series on the 17th hole after play, featuring country artists Low Cash and Love and Theft. Public parking is free with complimentary tournament access for military, courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Get tickets now for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, starting at just $25 at Ticketmaster.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 29, 2012, the USADA strips Lance Armstrong of his 7 Tour de France titles.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit LeeandKatesGlass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Jacksonville, Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coating, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite roofing contractor lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjacks.com.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,600 five-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage solutions for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation, but only until September 30th. 18-month financing is available. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Football season is back, baby. Hicken here, and I know I'm excited to get back to watching some ball over the weekend. But with the fun comes responsibility. Taking care of your skin while outside, extremely important. We know it feels like 100 out there, and that sun is blazing. Make sure you bring the screen while loading up all that tailgate. It's simple. Protect your skin. It's the Sunshine State. To help you protect your skin, Beaches Dermatology is here. I've been going to them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Book your appointment today at beachesdermatology.com.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
For your Friday. There's a new song that came out today, by the way, by Hardy and Ernest. They do a lot of stuff together. It's called Bro Country, and it is hilarious. Basically just ragging on bro country.
Yeah.
Which I get.
Not the real country.
Yeah. More of the tailgate and drinking and stuff like that, which bro country is fun, for sure. But obviously they wanted to be a little bit more traditional outlaw type of country. But for all you people out there that love country like I do, go listen to it. But not right now during our show.
You can oh, never mind. Listen to our commercials too.
Listen to every second of 1010XL. All right, right now Taylor Doll has a tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
So I saw an interesting chart, and it was identifying which teams last year left their tackles on an island the most, and which of those tackles performed the best when left on an island.
Okay.
I don't think this would be a surprise to anybody that the three tackles who were left on the island the most and performed the best when left on an island were Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, and Tristan Wirfs. Those were the three.
So two of those, Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson, both play for the Eagles, just to make sure people are fully aware.
Yes. And then Tristan Wirfs, who obviously that is somebody that Liam Coen did have, that he no longer has, that he probably wishes he does have right about now. But that's a side note. So it was just very interesting the way that they broke it down, because there's a huge group of players that are all kind of, so they have a median, they have an average of the island rate, and they have an average, obviously, of how well they played when they were on the island. A large group of guys are all together kind of in this mid-range, and then there's a few outliers. So a few things stuck out. I wanted to relate it, obviously, to what Liam Coen did in Tampa and what you may see here in Jacksonville, and also what Jacksonville did last year, what you saw out of Anton and Walker, and how will that change? Does it change? Does it look the same? What that looks like. But there are a few other, just to go through notes so you have like something to relate things to. A few guys like a Charles Cross, Deion Dawkins, Tyrone Smith, they were also left on the island comparable to what the Wirfs and Johnson and all of those that I listed, those three. They were on the island about the same and not as high, but they actually performed very, very well. They were a good amount above league average. So that when you look at guys like that, you're able to get them without having to be absolute stars, and all of those guys were on pretty good offensive lines too. Fred Johnson, but this was just another little side note, Fred Johnson was also in the top 10 of the being left on the island, but was the 5th worst in the NFL when doing so last year.
Wow.
So I wanted to look again at the Jags and the Bucks. I mentioned Wirfs, the other tackles, and Luke Gedeke, I think is how you say his name, got left out there a lot too. He performed pretty well. He was above league average on that. Their other guy, Justin School came in barely left it. I mean, he was the lowest amount on an island. So it's interesting to me how Liam Coen had two opposites when it comes to both of the right tackles and Wirfs and Gedeke. They both were on the island a ton and performed well, but School didn't so much. So he shifted that and he didn't put him, he got a lot of chip help. So that's what, when you're talking about here in Jacksonville, I'm interested to see what this looks like. If one of the tackles are struggling, how quick is he to start adding more help to them?
Did School come in for Wirfs?
Yes.
Because Wirfs got hurt.
Yeah, and he actually played both sides. So School got hurt. I mean, Wirfs got hurt at a certain point, and Gedeke did. So he came in for both of them at some point in time, and they added a lot of help for him during that time. For the Jaguars, Walker Little, he was given a decent amount of help last year, and the lowest in the league was about 43% when it comes to how much they were left on the island, and that was just in School. Walker Little was only on the island about 53% of the time. The average was about 65%. So that shows where in range that was. And those moments slightly above league average when it came to how he performed in those situations. Anton, on the other hand, was about 67% of the time that he played. So he was above average when it came to the amount of time that he was alone out there, and was a slightly above league average in those situations that he was left out there. So it's just interesting to see how Liam Cohen's going to handle this, because obviously we don't have a Tristan Wirfs on this team. We know that. But you could see when he had to adjust, when they got hurt, he was able to figure out ways, because the offensive line, you never saw it drastically change during that time. So he was able to figure out ways that when Wirfs or Gedeke weren't playing, that he was still able to add chip help and make it feel like the drop off wasn't too big.
A coach is allowed to make adjustments?
Imagine that.
No, I don't think.
Yeah,
that's
but
possible.
you're doing the chip help because you're not confident he can handle the guy by himself.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's why you.
And so that's what I'm wondering, though. Do we see that? And this will show, I guess, the confidence pretty early that Liam Coen has in Anton and Walker, because if he's adding help, then you're seeing that he's not. He does it, because with School he did. He immediately was like, okay, we're not leaving you out there by yourself. Right. And just so we could know, the game to game will look different too, because obviously depending which defensive ends you're facing. Right. But just before the bye week, the Jags are going to face Hendrickson, Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson, Nick Bosa. They also have Mikael Williams was added to the Niners too. You have Karlaftis. You have Leonard Williams, who had 11 sacks last year, Jared Verse, Fisk. And that's just before the bye week. Those are the edges that you'll be facing.
Yeah. What are the percentages for the top guys, just out of curiosity?
Of how much?
Well, just like how many they're left out and how well they did.
So Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, and Tristan Wirfs were all at like 77% of the time they were out by themselves.
About 3/4 of the time.
Other guys like I said, Charles Cross for Seattle, Deion Dawkins from Buffalo, Tyron Smith from the Jets. They were all about the same amount, and Luke Gedeke was right behind those guys too. Okay. So they all performed within that range. But let's say like league average was, they have it here where it's like negative, the negative 0.5, -10. And then the league average they just have as the 0. And then the highest is at 10. Lane Johnson and Jordan were both at a 10, like ranked a 10 when it comes to their efficiency mark. And then guys like a Charles Cross and Gedeke, they were at about like a 2 or 3. Okay. So that's the difference between those top guys in the league. And
to add to that, Jordan Mailata can also really sing. I've played a clip. His voice is singing Chris Stapleton's Tennessee Whiskey in front of Chris Stapleton, which takes some guts. But hey, if you can be left alone.
He's 6'8". He can do anything.
You got that right. All right, let's give away some lunch.
Yes, we have free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 2. You get free lunch to Chick-fil-A today.
There you go. Start your weekend off right. We've got some picks to make on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010X on 92.5 FM.
It's a Helmets and Heels. Lee and Kate's Glass, Friday.
Drink a beer, sing a song, make a friend. Can't we all get along?
Drink a beer, sing a song, can't we all get along?
This is great!
Exactly.
1010XL.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
Big
Number One Duval Ford is trusted by Duval families, Duval businesses, and law enforcement across Florida. We're Jacksonville's largest Ford dealer by new Ford sales with the biggest service facility to keep everything in your driveway and in your fleet on the road. Shop Big Number One Duval Ford on Cassett Avenue for our low prices and nationally recognized service-first experience. Big Number One Duval Ford, proudly serving North Florida since 1916.
The Friday Night Lights are shining even brighter as 1010XL has partnered with Channel 4 to bring you Friday Night Lights, a live streaming show at 7 o'clock every Friday, presented by Farrah and Farrah on the social media channels of 1010XL and Channel 4.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Watch football this season in downtown Duval at Pour Tap Room Jacksonville. 2 floors, 15 TVs, a giant projector, 80 self-pour taps of ice-cold craft beer, wine and cocktails, plus a full bar, wings, burgers, and more, and pizza delivered to your table from Pizza Dynamo. Downtown at Laura and Forsyth. Pour Tap Room Jacksonville. A beer festival every day.
These are the last days for Monahan Jewelers store-wide 40 to 50% off sale. These are the biggest savings we could possibly offer with everything on display discounted 40 to 50% off ending Saturday, August 30th. We've bought so much brand new jewelry, we need to make room for it, and the only way to do that is to give you huge deals at 40 to 50% off everything. And the sale ends this Saturday, August 30th. Diamond jewelry, colored gemstones, gold chains, everything. Everything on display is 40 to 50% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Frank Frangie here to tell you about the coolest new thing, a putting green in my backyard that my friends at Sunshine Turf installed. Sunshine Turf can do the same for you. They'll come to your house, they'll create a custom design for your space, and you'll have an authentic golf course experience right in your own backyard. I freaking love it. Sunshine Turf is family owned and they made the process so simple. So visit sunshineturf.info or call them at 904-383-0243 and get a free quote today for your own putting green. Get it from Sunshine Turf.
Coen Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is JJ with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call on Coen Flowers, they'll do it all.
The first half champion Jumbo Shrimp are home this weekend at newly renovated ViStar Ballpark. Join us tonight for Big D Building Center Friday fireworks. Then it's Honey Drippers weekend with free shorts to the first 2,000 fans through the main gate on Saturday, and Baptist Health Sunday Family Fun Day with more fireworks. Tickets start at just $5. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. Affordable, family, fun.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. The Jacksonville Jaguars have signed wide receiver Austin Trammell to the practice squad. The team has announced today. Additionally, the team has released wide receiver Dorian Singer from their practice squad. Right now, 80 degrees at 3:02. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farrah doesn't flinch.
Did we decide Did we decide what the loser of our picks contest will do? Our punishments?
I don't think we did. I
We need
feel
to
like we need to
formally
get our
decide.
listeners involved for some
Let's do it.
ideas.
Yeah, y'all
So
chime in.
We will be making our picks weekly, but we decided we'll have monthly punishments
That's
rather
right.
than every single week. So we'll go each month and tally through well, that's what I thought we had decided in Vegas.
Yeah.
That's
what happens in Vegas?
Does not stay in
If it's
Vegas.
work
Remember in
related.
Vegas.
Yeah. And so if we do that, just send us in some ideas if you want
Yeah.
to the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. That's 641-1010. Send us ideas of what the possible punishment. We can obviously do different ones each month, or if one works for throughout the season, whatever the case may be.
Nothing too crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not trying to go hog wild yet.
Like some of the things Dan and Jeff do.
Correct.
That I've also had to do on that show is a little scary sometimes. But yeah, so the picks are stressful, but they're also fun. It adds some extra during
You
the
watch
weekend
football
that
differently, yeah.
The games that you normally don't care about whatsoever about an outcome, you're suddenly screaming at the TV.
There was one time we were at a restaurant. I think I've told you the story, Taylor. Tom, we were at a restaurant at the beach, and I was sitting at the bar, and we were watching an Ole Miss game. I don't even remember who Ole Miss was playing, but I was cheering for Ole Miss because in the Frangie Show contest, if you had what they call a game picker-upper, meaning you're the only one to pick opposite of everyone else, then you got an extra point. And of course, being as competitive as I am, like I wanted to win. And so I'm cheering for Ole Miss at the bar, and I use the restroom, and this lady's like, "So you went to Ole Miss too?" And I was like,
You're like, no.
No, I'm actually not an Ole Miss fan. I just have, and she's like, "Oh, money riding on it." I'm like, no, not even that. It's just a contest at work. And she's like, then she gave me the crazy look, like, what, who are you and what do you do? But anyway, that's how involved and invested, obviously, we can become. But RJ is going to handle this for us. So RJ, that's right. I love that music, even though it no longer belongs to the SEC. But that's neither here nor there. First game up, RJ, you want to go 1 versus 2?
Yes, our first game that we shall be picking is Texas at Ohio State. Ohio State a -1. How do you guys see it?
Ohio State is favored by 1 point. Some places you look, it's 1.5, but we're going with this. I'm going to take Texas on the road. This is not because I hate Ohio State, even though I do. It's not that. It's because I do think there's just too much newness when it comes to Ohio State. And I'm going to take Arch Manning to get the giant victory. Taylor?
Yeah, I'm leaning the same way, actually. And I think that I know Arch Manning, technically this is his first year starting and being their starter, but you've seen glimpses of what Arch can be, and I do think that because Ohio State, with the running backs, losing the running backs they had, a new quarterback, all of those things. Yeah,
both offense
coordinators.
and defense.
I think that will factor in a lot. I think Ohio State's still going to be a very good team, and I think the game will be good, but I do think Texas pulls it out.
I'm going to say Ohio State wins at home.
Okay.
Listen, it's funny, Texas ranked number 1, but they're not favored. It's kind of odd. Maybe there's something there. But look,
Sure.
I think a program like Ohio State and a coach like Pat Day, they know how to reload. They may have their bumps and bruises and whatnot, but they'll be prepared to play. All that money, they better be. I think it costs like $15 million to keep that damn team together. So, but I'm going to go with Day and the Buckeyes at home. And I'm not an Ohio State fan at all, but I do appreciate their work.
No.
Yeah, no. Ryan Day went from hot seat to a national championship. It can be done, Billy Napier. Are you listening? It can be done.
Right.
All right, RJ, next up.
Alabama, a 14-point favorite at FSU. Your picks.
Yeah, this one I think, and again, we are picking against the spread. This one to me is really complicated in the sense of Thomas Castellanos gave them bulletin board material. You don't ever give Alabama bulletin board material. However, Alabama has struggled with mobile quarterbacks, like we talked about, and certainly he is a dual threat quarterback. Ish. I'm gonna say Alabama covers the 14, which is it's a big spread, but that's my gut. Tom?
Listen, that's a big spread, and I'm like hesitant, to be like, I think
get it.
Bama wins, but man, 14 is a lot. But I tell you what, man, you put that target on your back, you deserve to either have, at least to be challenged. And if he comes out of the challenge, Florida State fans, you got yourself a player. You know what I mean? And if he doesn't, well, then I'm just going to say, well, we kind of knew that coming from Boston College. Maybe he's, plays different. Maybe he plays better. But I think Bama gets after them, and I'm going to go Bama with the points.
All right.
Yeah.
Taylor?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Knowles.
Okay.
I keep going back and forth about this one, and I truly have no idea of what Florida State looks like whatsoever because we haven't been able to see or hear anything, so I really have no idea what to expect.
No one does.
I like the confidence, though, of Castellanos, and I do think that when it comes to what he's able to do on the ground, I just got to, I think Alabama wins, and I would say still by like 10 probably, but I say Florida State will cover.
Sure. Yeah, I can certainly understand that.
LSU at Clemson. Clemson currently a 4-point favorite.
Yeah, this one I think is probably the most difficult to pick. I'm going to take LSU covering, though, because I do think that this game ends up being only like decided by 1 point. So I'll say LSU at least covers. I'm not going to say LSU wins necessarily, but I'm going to say LSU covers.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. And then when we heard Randy Cross say Nussmeier can get, a little rocked, and Clemson's supposed to have a really good defense. Take a chance. I'm going to go with Clemson and the points. Why not? I'm going to rely on that defense. But I think it'll be a close game. I do. I almost feel like LSU will win, but I'm going to go all in on Clemson and take the points.
Yeah, I'm going to say Clemson. I don't have any faith in Brian Kelly. I think they've lost 5 straight at home. Their openers yep. LSU has, and Brian Kelly hasn't won an opener. And so I do think that Clemson in general has just a lot of talent, and a lot of people go to the quarterbacks. Everything that I've heard is, okay, is it Nussmeier or Cade Klubnik? I think Cade looked really good, especially towards the end of last year. And I do think that when Nussmeier starts to make some mistakes, which we've seen him turn the ball over, it starts to get a little shaky over there. So I do think it's close, but I still think Clemson covers by 4.
Nice. Notre Dame, a 2.5-point favorite against Miami.
I'll let Taylor start this one off.
I'm so stressed about this.
She's in her Notre Dame garb in case you can't see her.
Yeah, same situation, honestly, as I feel about Florida State when it comes to not as much of a mystery, but still a decent amount, because there's a lot of newness when it comes to Notre Dame, too. They lost several pieces important, obviously, one being here and Jack Kaiser. When it comes to defensively, Riley Mills and Xavier Watts, a lot of guys that were big pieces, including also Al Golden, who is no longer the defensive coordinator. The quarterback, I feel like we just don't know a ton about. And from what it sounds like, he barely won that job, honestly, over the other kid. It was just more so Marcus Freeman feels like he's more ready for the moment and than in the competition-wise. So I don't know. I'm scared, but I'll still say go Irish. I'll pick Notre Dame.
You have to.
Yeah.
Well, I've got history with both these teams. I had 19 tackles against Miami on a Saturday night, and I had 22 against Notre Dame in a thrashing. I was the only one making tackles, running for my life trying to make them. But nonetheless, I'm going to go with the convicts for sure. I love the criminals of Miami. And although I'm a Catholic guy, I'm going to say I don't know. Listen, it's kind of a pick 'em for me because you kind of don't know.
Right now.
and listen, I'm not. Look, I know I'm probably speaking to my. I've never been extremely impressed with Carson Beck. Okay. I think he's good.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's not good, but I never sat there like, wow, this kid's unbelievable. So he's got a lot to prove to me. I don't know about Notre Dame's QB. I'll be honest with you. I don't. But I'm going to go Miami. I think it'll be a fun game to watch. And hopefully we get, back to that, Catholics versus convicts, little rivalry and stuff. And maybe a little fisticuffs. Not too bad. Keep your helmets on, fellas. Don't use it as a weapon. And we'll have a good game. But I'm going to go the U on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to too, just because of the fact that it is in Miami.
Yeah.
Even though my other 3 picks have all been, I've taken the road teams. But for some reason, and I'm not saying that I think Miami's going to win the national championship by any means, but I do think that the talent that Mario Cristobal has assembled is going to get them at least past Notre Dame. I think they win by like a field goal.
For the record, if I may, we lost to Miami 19-15 the year they won the title. We barely lost. They beat us. That 19 tackle game, and we did pretty well against their offense. Mario Cristobal was the right guard, so I don't know if he blocked me too many times. I'm just saying, on a 19.
I love that. Throwing shade in retrospect. All right, now we get to pick a wild card. Tom, kick us off.
Yeah, after extensive research and this whole thing, there's a lot of games to choose from. You got to really figure it out. Strategize. You don't want to show your hand too much.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't show your hand.
So I'm looking at Syracuse at Tennessee. Okay. Tennessee, 13.5-point favorite.
Yep.
24th ranked Tennessee Vols. Syracuse loses their quarterback. He got cut, which I didn't think he was going to get cut. McCord, I thought he was pretty good quarterback.
I think back on the practice field.
I have no idea who they're replacing him with. I have no idea what Syracuse is all about whatsoever. But I'm going to take Q's and say they don't win, but it will be less than 13.5.
I can understand that. I do think that Tennessee and the whole quarterback situation, like we've discussed, is crazy.
Good call. I meant to say that too.
Yeah, Joey Aguilar. I was talking to Gibby, who went to App State. So, of course, he followed Aguilar's career there, and he's like, he didn't win any big games. So I was like, so he would probably be.
Thanks, Gib.
Yeah, exactly. Be with you. Taylor, who you got?
Yeah, so I'm going to go to a very late night game and take a look at Utah and UCLA is where I'm going. So kind of opposite
I would say
of
Pac-12 after dark, but it's not Pac-12 anymore.
So we have the Utah is a 6-point favorite in this game at this point. That's why I don't know where you exactly get your odds because it's like 5.5 to 6.5.
Hard
so
rock bet.
The main one I saw was 6. And so that's where, but I'm going to take UCLA for this one because I think that, number one, I'm going against what I wanted from the beginning because I kind of want Nico to embarrass himself a little bit, but not for this game when I need him to win. I just think at the end of last year when you talk about UCLA, they already had a strong finish. They finished 4-2 at the end of the season. Nico threw 13 touchdowns, only turned the ball over one time in that end of the season stretch also. And then it's the kind of flip side of what happened with Utah. They 5-7 last year. They're breaking in a new quarterback, Devin Dampier, I think is how you say it, but he had 12 touchdowns, 12 interceptions at his previous stop. So I do think that UCLA can come out with Nico, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they win, but at least cover.
My wild card, this is going to be a shout out to the text line and designed by Lifetime Enclosures. All of you out there that love South Carolina. And as far as the home atmosphere, this one's in Atlanta, Sunday, 3 p.m., but South Carolina taking on Virginia Tech.
Oh,
It's Shane Beamer versus his dad's old team and Frank Beamer's old team, Valtech. But look, I think Lenore Sellers could win the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
So South Carolina is favored by 7.5, 7 and a hook, but I'm going to take South Carolina to cover the spread. Those are our picks. We'll figure out a punishment at some point. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Lee and Kate's Class, Friday on Helmets and Heels. How does number 9 feel about number 16?
All right, here we go.
Find out when David Garrard joins Mike and Fat Tony. Mondays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Restored by Resto Pros of Northeast Florida on 1010XL.
At Coen Atlantic, the savings are back in session. You'll just need to follow these simple rules to make the most of your back to school. Step 1, switch out your car for an upgrade. Step 2, drive a new Kia starting at $20K. Step 3, make no payments for a whole 90 days. Hurry in to start back to school in a big way. Online at KeonAtlantic.com. Coen Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection. For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
No one knows more about fishing the First Coast than Captain Kevin Faber. The Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Reeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services. And Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Thursday nights at 6.
On 1010XL AM.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hi, it's Frank Frangie. You hear my buddies Dan and Jeff talk about that great food at Daly's Dash all the time. Jeff loves that Duval and Dan loves the Boss. And they're right, both are terrific. But I can tell you they have so many excellent options at Daly's Dash. Salads and flatbreads and tacos and quesadillas, you name it. And of course, those fantastic subs and sandwiches. I just had the Italian sub. It is so good. The thing is, Daly's Dash is really committed to their food and committed to making it perfect for you. Everything is fresh, made to order every time. And there's so many Daly's locations in town, no matter where you are, there's one near you. I love to pop in and grab a sub at lunch, or maybe after a round of golf, or maybe even after calling one of those Jags games. There's never a bad time to stop into Daly's Dash and grab that great, great food. So head there today. Take it from Dan and Jeff, or take it from me. They say it's nicer here. It really is. And the food is delicious. Head to Daly's Dash today.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performancepainting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Hey folks,
folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back or online at duckac.com.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then, strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to I-9 Sports with fall and winter registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you. We just made our picks, and so therefore I have to talk to you all about some food that will be served at college stadiums this year.
Oh,
yeah.
Sushi.
Not quite, but we are going to start with UCLA nachos. Those are served in a Rose Bowl car. So you literally get nachos inside of a little Rose Bowl car.
That's cool.
Super cute. Then we
Do the nachos look good? Is it just like chips and cheese, or are they?
They look delicious.
Okay.
It looks like there's some
Do you
sort
lick
of
the
like
car when you're done?
That is a good question. I'm going to need you to go to a UCLA
Put a
game.
Sunday in there.
Need to go, you to go.
No.
But yeah, the nachos look delicious, and it doesn't just look like your traditional ballpark nachos. Then we move to Cal. Cal has Cal potato skins, and they are branded with Cal in them.
Oh, that's
the
cool.
potato skin, actually has Cal in that cursive. And then the pork belly is what's branded. So that's what you're getting that's branded. Not the potato skin, but the pork belly is actually branded.
So the pork belly on a potato?
Yes, pork belly on a potato.
And it's branded.
Yes, and the pork
Cal
belly
is the pork belly.
The cow,
Yes.
Cal's written out in pork belly.
Yes.
Wow,
I
that's
love
so
pork
clever.
belly, though.
It's
Man,
hard to
that's
see. I
marketing
took this
genius
picture
right
off
there.
of Twitter earlier, and so it's a little hard to see. All right, and then we move to Air Force. More nachos. You get Air Force nachos served in a B-2 bomber box, so it looks like the B-2 bomber. Kind of cool. And then finally, for everyone out there that loves salty and sweet together, Wisconsin serves the Badger Bacon Bar dipped in milk chocolate.
Oh, that sounds good.
What is that?
Bacon
What's
and
dipped?
chocolate.
Oh, bacon.
Bacon, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Badger Bacon Bar.
Badger
okay.
bacon.
So bacon, I think, on a bar. Badger Bacon Bar. So I think it's like bacon on a stick.
Yeah.
And then they dip it in milk chocolate.
That sounds pretty good.
Leave it to the Wisconsin people to have something
to
like
get the
that.
artery clogging going.
Oh, yeah.
They love that
I was
stuff.
surprised it wasn't about to be like a chocolate cheese curd or something.
Right. Yeah, no kidding.
That would
Something
also
like
make
that.
sense. All right, back to the Jaguars. Liam Coen also. Yeah.
I'm sorry, do we not
Go
have
ahead.
a Jaguar like special? Or
They've tried.
Do the Gators
food
have
items?
a special food?
They had
Gator
teal.
bites? They got gator tail?
They don't.
Oh,
serve
they
gator
should.
tail.
I would love
Gator
gator
tail.
No, because that's their mascot. You don't want to start. You can't.
But you still eat. It's delicious.
It is
You become
delicious.
one
but
with
you
the
can't.
Yeah, you are a gator.
So it's like in Lion King, eat the grass, the antelope eat the grass. and
Are you
eat the
serving up
antelope, it's all one-
Eagles feet
Yes.
at Boston College Stadium? No.
A wing, maybe.
No, you're
Eagle
not
wing.
doing
Yeah,
that.
Buffalo
Have you ever
loves
tried
their
Eagle?
wing.
It's pretty
The
good.
Bills, they love their buffalo wing. Their buffalo wings.
Yeah.
They're not really buffalo.
I know.
I was going to say people she does know that those are not buffalo wings, it's the sauce. But yeah, no, the Jags don't have anything. But sticking in the
Well, they have like teal buns and stuff they always try. Like the hot dog buns are teal, or it wasn't very appealing looking, to be honest. But so I know they've tried things. I just don't know. They haven't had anything stick. So
Teal's
there has to be
not a good
something.
dye color to eat, I don't think.
No.
You know, or drink. Well, I guess drink wouldn't be too
Drink
bad.
is good. Teal drinks are
drink's
great.
fine.
They do have a lot of teal drinks. So
Yeah,
there's plenty of those.
Yeah, that part I don't know because I'm in the press box.
Yeah.
Where they do not serve anything like
What
that.
color hot dogs are the hot dogs in the press box?
They are the
Hopefully
normal color.
Are they?
But
If they're not, that means
They're
they're
not a little
old.
green. I hear they're green.
No, and they have improved the press box food over the last few
Yeah.
years. They've done a much better job. I'm not saying that they ever did a poor job, but
never.
it has gotten better than it was before. All right, back to Liam Coen. He did meet with reporters yesterday. I don't know if Liam will ever get to try the food at a Jaguars game because he's a little busy on the sidelines. But he was asked about Trevor Lawrence, of course, his quarterback, and how much progress he's made in taking care of the football.
I think with the exception of today, was taking care of the football. Like in the spring, there was a little bit more maybe errant, maybe misses, and a little bit more it was daily almost in some ways where you're getting used to the scheme, you're getting used to your footwork, you're getting used to new receivers, and so it's not as clean. It's still not where it needs to be, which is the beautiful part. I mean, it shouldn't be. We don't expect it to be that way right now. But for the most part, like just taking care of the football is a huge thing. And if we can run the football more effectively, obviously create more turnovers defensively, and be able to take care of the football, you're not beating yourself. And so I think from a ball security standpoint, I've seen some growth there. Is he going to throw a pick here and there and practice? Like, it's going to happen. But it hasn't been as much at all since the spring.
I do love that he even references need more takeaways on defense.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
He wasn't the head coach last year, but he's fully aware that they only had 9 in 17 games. But yeah, I love how it starts too, with the exception of today. Ball
Yeah, what
security.
happened today?
Yeah, that was at practice yesterday. I wasn't able to
Okay,
attend, so I'm
yesterday,
not sure.
sorry.
But I'm guessing, they must have had some ball security issues.
Okay. Yeah. No, he's gotten better. Listen, I mean, we're not going to know until it's real.
Yeah.
So he's getting hit, and can he, make sure that it's secure there. But as far as throwing the football, not a lot of balls on the ground. A couple times, a couple days was like, oh, wow, that's not very good. And that wasn't just him. It was like all 4 quarterbacks where the ball would be off or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the majority of the time it wasn't. The ball was off the ground into the player's hands or being knocked, contested. But some good throws by Trevor.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be one of the things that people are going to pay the most attention to, because when you talk about between the interceptions and fumbles, that's been an issue, and some of those you put on the receivers or other things happening, but there are a lot that were Trevor's fault. And I think that when you look at the teams who have been the most successful, just by a quick look, the last 4 years, the teams with the least amount of turnovers, Packers, Lions, Ravens, Bengals, Eagles, Rams, like those are the teams you want to be sitting with when it comes to that. And that's just the least amount of turnovers. So you have to look at the other end too, which is the defense actually getting turnovers, because last year just wasn't nearly enough it was enough for about a half a season.
Yeah.
This is what it was.
And honestly, probably a third
of the season.
You have to get takeaways on defense. That you have to in order to sometimes win games.
Yeah, but two years ago they did, but we gave it back 3 more times.
Also
It was 30 to 27, I think. So yeah, we definitely need the 27, and that 30's got to be lower. For sure. But look, I don't know. A lot of times with the fumbles, okay. I mean, I don't know. I want them to try to make a play. I mean, you got to be more secure with the ball, but sometimes you're trying to make a play, And I know it's easy to be like, no, he's got to secure it. I get that, but also, we applaud when they do make the play. Like when they do escape and the ball's just kind of hanging there. Next thing you know, Reed grips it and gets a throw for 15 yards, whatever it is. You know what I mean? They were like, oh, that was great. I think you got to find a balance in it.
Yeah.
I know the escape route to his left, where he does the whirly bird.
Yeah,
he does carry the ball out.
Right,
He's got to make sure that's more secure. There are times where he can be, but you don't want to take the football player out of him. You don't want him to be so worried about that ball that he's not going to take chances or not tuck it and go or not slide a little, and I don't think he will. He's not to that point. But
we applaud Patrick Mahomes for like, what we call hero ball, right? Like we applaud those types of players, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, but they have learned to secure the football. Josh Allen struggled with it. He's gotten better.
Yep.
You know what helped Josh Allen, Taylor? A run game.
Yeah.
You know what would help Trevor?
Yeah.
A run game.
Yeah, no doubt.
In this town, they're asking the quarterback to get the short yardage, right? This isn't the Eagles with the tush push. They're asking Trevor to go up above the pile.
And he's good at it.
He is good at it, but you shouldn't be asking your quarterback to do stuff like that.
Not so many times.
Right. Like once in a while is one thing, but that's why he's been forced to play hero ball because nothing around him has worked.
Yeah. And I mean, Patrick Mahomes still does and will always. He will play hero ball. That's his game. So you don't ever want to take that away from Patrick Mahomes. Now, Trevor isn't Patrick Mahomes, so you do need to, I think, reel stuff in at certain times. But to your point, Tommy, you don't want to take away some of those things. You and I have been saying all offseason we want to see him run the ball more because you have seen success in that in the past when it comes to Trevor Lawrence. I think it's more situational. You want him to make plays, but just this last preseason, the one where he fumbled when it was a first down. You don't have to do too much on first downs. You had
against the Saints,
you had more downs to be able to get, and you're in the red zone. Those are moments you have to be smarter. And other situations, if that was farther back, and whatever the down may be, if those circumstances were different, maybe you would have tried to do what he was doing, which I think was just still trying to make a play. But you have to also be smart. And that's some of the things we haven't. Trevor's, when it comes to certain, the awareness and the situational things, he hasn't always been the best.
Okay, I agree with that. But go back to that fumble. I put it more on Tank. I mean, he puts it pretty much in his basket, and Tank's arms are so far apart, it just doesn't go anywhere. I'm not saying you couldn't have just tucked it. But I get what he's trying to do. He's
especially
slipping.
when
He's
you're
like,
going
man, I can
down.
just hand it to you. Grab it.
Yeah.
It's right here.
And he's
I can
getting
hold the
stepped
ball,
on.
no problem. So, it takes two to tango and everything. I think there's, I know what, at the end of the day, it's the quarterback's responsibility. He's the one that's got to be safe. But at the same time, I can see what he was trying to do. He's all right, I'm tripping, but I still can hand it off.
And
just grab it.
In my mind, though, in reverse, Tank was ready for that ball to hit him in the chest because it was supposed to be a handout. He didn't know he was getting stepped on to fall.
He's pretty far apart. I remember watching because I was like, man, I thought he could.
Well, he probably didn't think he was going to still hand it. He saw Trevor going down and was kind of like, oh, this isn't about to happen.
Yeah, that could happen.
There's a lot, obviously, that like we said earlier, timing and everything is so important and all that kind of stuff. But like we said at the time, I'd rather that happen in the preseason so that they can learn from it. But what I also appreciate about Liam Coen is he immediately was like, yeah, Trevor's got to eat that. He said that, and I don't think there were any, oh my gosh, he actually said something negative about the quarterback.
No, whereas it was good.
Right, exactly. They have those honest conversations, and that is so incredibly important. All right, on the other side, the Terminix Pest of the Day awaits. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You're locked into a Lee and Kate's Glass Friday on Helmets and Heels.
Jacksonville, Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coatings, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, October 3rd through 5th at Timuquana Country Club. Catch the new community concert series on the 17th hole after play, featuring country artists Low Cash and Love and Theft. Public parking is free with complimentary tournament access for military, courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Get tickets now for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, starting at just $25 at Ticketmaster.
Frank Frangie here. It's always truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Well, this month you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership at Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Jaguars football is officially back. Be there as number 2 overall draft pick Travis Hunter, quarterback Trevor Lawrence, and new head coach Liam Coen take the field for the first time during the 2025 NFL regular season. Secure your seats for when the Jaguars take on the Panthers September 7th by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Have you ever dreamed of owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Well, now you can. This is Frank Frangie for the farm in Okefenokee, just an hour north of Jacksonville in Folkestone. With only 250 cabins at full build-out, it's a rare chance to live off-grid, but not alone, in a community grounded in nature, food, and purpose. The amenities include a 2,300-acre hunting lease. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller. Hey, Jason, got a minute?
Always. What's on your mind?
This time of year, my air conditioner is running non-stop. Hot all day, hot all night. It has to run constantly just to keep up.
Well, that's what they do.
But if something happens to it in the middle of a 2-week heat wave, I'm in trouble, Jason. I can't wait 3 days or 2 days or even the next day for service. If you can't get someone here today, I'm sweating by tonight. What if it breaks, Jason?
You call me, pal. That's what we do. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
But you're probably swamped with calls from everyone else's AC that ran nonstop and then broke in a heat wave, so they called you because that's what you do.
But we always have room for an emergency. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we have techs standing by because we know these things happen.
So I don't need to worry. Wow. That time you calmed me down without even using the sunglasses.
Oh, I was reaching for them.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Cause you're a sky full of stars.
Quick programming note, the Frangie Show will be live from Poor Tap Room this evening from 4 to 6, and Rick Ballou will be on 1010 a.m. starting at 4. So every Friday, if you want to hear Rick, you'll turn it over to 1010 a.m., and then Frangie and Carline will be on 92.5 FM. Tom, you said you've been to the Poor Tap Room, and it's fantastic.
It's excellent, and they have PBR on tap.
On tap? You never see that nowadays.
It's phenomenal.
Well, I know Frank's excited they have Icy Light on tap. Now, he can't drink that until the show's over, but it will be there waiting for him. Icy Light, if people don't know, I suppose not everyone is a baseball fan necessarily, but it's a huge Pittsburgh thing, or not even just baseball. But
okay.
Football, baseball, they have it all in
Wait,
Pittsburgh.
this whole drinking during the show, that you're not allowed?
taboo.
Is that it? I didn't know that.
Well, that's at least the rule for Taylor and RJ and I. You may be in a different category. I don't know.
I've never tried. Well, here in 1010 anyway.
Well, yeah,
I
the
haven't
horse's
tried.
mouth, you have beer.
Yeah, I drink while, yeah. Well, it's part of the show,
Yeah.
It's part of the
When I joined you, I did
the
not drink beer.
ambiance. No,
I think I had to come back here and do
it's a great show.
Yeah.
I love that show. A lot of fun.
All right, time now for today's Terminix Pest of the Day. You can find our friends at Terminix online at Terminix.com. That's TERMINIX.com. They take care of Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and all of your favorite event venues around town. They'll take care of any pest issues that you have, termite issues that you have, cockroaches, ants. They will do it all just like they do at our house. So I'm sure you all saw the story about the Dolphins coach that was arrested for domestic violence.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan Crow is his name. He got into a verbal argument with his girlfriend about past relationships.
Oh,
Let me give all those listeners out there some
Don't
advice.
talk about those.
Do not talk about
Focus on your current relationship.
That is always going to be much more helpful. Don't talk about those past relationships. But yeah, he ended up, I guess, slapping her, and they ended up grappling. And so, yeah, he was arrested. Hopefully, they either work things out or they go their separate ways and something like this doesn't happen again. But Ryan Crow, you are today's pest of the day.
This is for the Dolphins, you said? Dolphins coach? Oh.
Yeah, a Dolphins. I want to say he's the outside linebackers coach.
Yeah, I thought, he is.
Yeah.
I read that.
Yeah, so
I
unfortunately
wonder what
for
they
them,
do. You're the team.
Right.
I mean, you can't just let that, slide.
Right.
You got to punish. There's got to be punishment for that.
Well, I'm assuming that'll go
The
through
league.
the league.
Yeah, they probably will.
Yeah. But
Like
at the
they
end
let
of
it
the
slide
day,
with the players all the time. So
until things get finalized, and then they'll give
Right.
some sort of 2-game suspension or 3-game suspension.
That really should
Bad
be
you.
they should have a set thing,
yeah.
Put your hands on the lady, man. This is what happens.
Yeah, Taylor and I have talked about that many a time. We totally agree. All right, we talked a little bit of food earlier. I was looking at this article about the food and drink options at the 2025 U.S. Open. So, of course, the tennis tournament, which, by the way, I believe it's the daughter or the granddaughter of the Bills owner is playing
and the Buffalo
now.
Sabres.
And the Sabres, okay, so Kim Pagula,
Pagula,
is playing right now. I don't know what happened with Ben Shelton. I wasn't able to watch the end of that. He was winning the last I looked, but I'll find out. But the food and drink options, I wanted to run through these with y'all. So for basically the bottom line drink or the lowest price drink is $18. And then, of course, it goes up from there. There's one drink with watermelon that is $39 for just one drink. Yeah, I just feel like that's crazy. But Grey Goose has sold, they said, like 556,000 of that drink with the watermelon.
Yeah.
556,000 of those have been consumed, and that means that the tournament itself has made $12.8 million off that drink alone since 2024.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, no kidding.
So pack your pack all your
goodness.
change if you're heading to the U.S. Open. I just thought that was
it's like the golf one. What's the one that was at the play? Was it a Paloma that was at the players? There was
Sounds right.
something that they had that was like the players' drink, and that's I guess like a popular golf drink. But those ones, it's not that pricey, but you still usually, if you're getting any sort of, especially if it's Grey Goose or that higher end
Correct.
vodka, you're playing a decent amount anyways.
I'm okay with those kind of events. Not 39, obviously, but I wish the Jags included, like game day prices should not be where they're at, man.
And
It's
that's-
just crazy. Like you don't need to gouge the fans and I know you get to bring in water, you could bring in some stuff.
Yeah, now
Which
bring
is
bags
great.
of spaghetti if you want.
What's that? Yeah, right. Yeah, no, right. You can bring some stuff in, but it just seems ridiculous. Like $20 should be the limit. Come on, you can't give me a double vodka for $20. I know you're still making a ton of money on that drink.
Yeah, that's going to be
Per
more
that
like
drink.
40 if
Yeah,
you're talking about
it
a
is.
double.
It's 40. Yeah, of course.
I saw the list actually.
I need at least 4, so like that's 160. The hell, next thing you know, like,
That's the thing.
Spent
Most people
$300
aren't
there
drinking
on vodka.
one. So it's
That's
like-
also
no,
correct.
and that's part of it. I saw the beer prices in each stadium for this year, though, by the way. And so the cheapest beer you can get in the NFL, Bengals. At the Bengals Stadium, it's only $6.80 for
Wow.
a beer. The most expensive is at Washington. It's $16.49 for a beer. And I think these are because a lot have different sizes.
Correct.
So this
Right,
is
the
just like
big
that.
beers,
This is
Standard
like the
8 ounces.
smallest you can get and cheapest you can get.
Yeah.
But the Bengals are $6.80, the Browns $7.15, the Lions $7.20, the Vikings $8.05, and then at the top it's Washington $16.49, Raiders $14.99, Tampa $14.25, and then San Fran, LA, and the Chargers are all $14, and then it all kind of skews between like 9 and 13.
Yeah, start saving now, Tom, for when we go back to Las Vegas.
what's with this 20-cent stuff?
I
Like,
don't
give me
know.
$5, 5 or 10.
Definitely not.
$5.
Definitely not anymore.
$5.19.
When it was cash,
sure
when
too.
people used cash more, it was easier to do that.
No,
now
right.
it's like
Now it's all
cards, so
digital.
they're just like whatever. You're just tapping and walking away anyways.
Probably
but-
part of the fee that
Yeah.
they get charged.
Yeah, they're always going to pass that down too.
Yeah, of
We
course
talked
they
about
do.
this off air, but Nebraska beating Cincinnati last night. Dylan Raiola, I always thought it was Raiola, but Dylan Raiola, his dad Dominic, you
Yeah.
remember at Nebraska,
Was a beast. The center played for the Lions for a long time. Raiola, he was a really good offensive lineman. Yeah, his son's weird though. I'm
He's
sorry,
strange.
he's just
It's
very
weird.
strange. He looks just like Patrick Mahomes. Walks like him. Even plays like him.
Yeah.
I know he wears the same number, but he wears his helmet the kind of same way. He runs the same way. Kind of throws the same way.
but he doesn't want to be compared to Patrick Mahomes.
Now,
I
listen,
can understand why.
I wanted to look like Brian
Well, that's a lot to live
Bosworth
up
when
to.
I was
Okay.
young. You know, like I had the hair. I didn't have the tail, but I had the hair for a little bit, you know, and then my dad made me shave most of it off. But, you know, it was, you know, I wanted to be like that, but he just takes it to a whole new, like I see Mahomes in the box. He's like, is this like
Is
my
that my guy?
doppelganger? Like, who is this kid?
It was crazy to see Mahomes at that game, and then also Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift at that game too.
Yeah, the newly engaged couple. Isn't that great?
It is funny though because you just said you wanted to look like him. He says I don't want to I'm my own person. I don't want to be like Patrick Mahomes. But then I saw a picture and he had those, I forget what the sunglasses are called. The Vipers on.
Yep.
Vipers on. Like, like if he was walking down the street, I would be like, double glances at Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
For the record, I wanted to be Brian Bosworth that was in Sports Illustrated sitting on a Corvette outside an oil rig in a really badass 3-piece white suit. Do you remember that? Two-piece? He looked great. I was like, man, that's pretty. And they're not paying him anything at Oklahoma, are they? He had NIL going way before NIL was going. Are you kidding me?
By the way, I don't know why the TV switched. Ben Shelton is still playing. He is just ahead of Manarino. I don't know how to say his last name, but either way, for all the
Gators still another week of that, right? To get the finals next Sunday.
Yeah, that's a lot of tennis.
That's a marathon.
All right, so we'll put a wrap on the college football conversation when we return. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010X on 92.5 FM.
Lee and Kate's Glass, Friday. Guaranteed greatness since 1926.
Frank Franzi here from my bank, South State Bank. South State has been committed to delivering world-class customer service that businesses like yours and mine can count on. From personalized support to cutting-edge banking solutions, South State Bank has blended the trusted traditions we all value with the innovation you need for tomorrow. Whether you're managing cash flow or investing in growth, South State Bank is here to help you move forward. Visit southstatebank.com or visit your local branch today. That's South State. Member FDIC.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is now available at the Fresh Market Spirits and Wine. The Fresh Market Spirits and Wine is a new adult beverage store offering spirits, wine, beer, and accessories at A1A North in Ponte Vedra, a first-of-its-kind destination for thoughtfully curated spirits, wine, and beer as only the Fresh Market can. And now, you can get Brackish Vodka at the Fresh Market. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Rick Ballou for Coen Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coen Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coen Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coen Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coen Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
1010XL is your home for Florida Gators football. Protected by the law firm of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Follow every Gators game on 1010XL.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you are a 6th-generation jeweler. What kind of watch do you wear?
Frank, I think I've told this story 1,000 times. The watch I wear is a Rolex, and here's why. When my grandfather gave me a gift for graduating from college, he said, I want you to have something that you'll always remember me for. And he gave me a Rolex watch, and some 35 years later, it still runs and looks as good as it did the day I got it, a day I'll always remember. This might be the right time for you to create the same kind of memory, and nothing does it better than a Rolex from Underwood's. Whether it's a lady or a man's, the Rolex Oyster has the classic good looks and incredible durability and accuracy that make it the watch people want to own. And at Underwood's, all of our Rolexes come with a 5-year guarantee.
Underwood Jewelers in San Marco, in Avondale, and at the shops of Ponte Vedra. Underwood's, serving excellence since 1928. Underwood Jewelers.
If your house feels like a Florida swamp and your thermostat's just throwing out suggestions, then it's time to call Duck Duck Air Conditioning.
They showed up fast, fixed it right, and even cleaned up after. My house is finally chilled, and so am I.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckduckac.com. When your AC is stuck, call the Duck.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Highest pressure rates over a 4-season span in the NFL from 2006 to 2024. Micah Parsons is the highest pressure rate over a 4-season span, and it was from 2021 to 2024. And he had a 19.8% win percentage, 59 sacks in that time, 352 pressures. But Josh Hines-Allen does make this list. He's a little bit farther down, but I'll just go through some of them. So it's Micah Parsons, number 1. Von Miller from 2012 to 15. Aaron Donald, 2017 to 2020. Nick Bosa, 21 to 24. Trey Hendrickson, 21 to 24. Myles Garrett, 21 to 24. J.J. Watt, 2013 to 16. Brandon Graham, 14 to 17. Alden Smith, 11 to 14. Khalil Mack, 2015 to 2018. DeMarcus Ware, 2009 to 12. There's several other names. TJ Watt's on this list from 2019 to 2022. Cliff Averill from 2013 to 2016. And then behind him is Josh Hines-Allen, 21 to 24. He has a 14.4% win percentage and 47 sacks in that time, 294 pressures. But if you just look at that in that same span of time, which we talk about how we talk about Josh Hines-Allen here, 43 sacks in that time, with a 14.4% win percentage and that pressure rate. Micah Parsons right now, so Micah Parsons and Nick Bosa and Trey Hendrickson and Myles Garrett, all within that 2021 to 2024 time frame, all land on this list of all time. But 59 sacks, 58 sacks, 67 sacks, 65 sacks. It's insane what some of these guys are doing coming off the edge right now.
What was Josh in 3 years?
It was in a 4-year span. He has
4 years.
Yeah,
Okay, that's how he got
43 in
there.
4
Okay,
years.
I got it. Yeah. Yep. And 17 and a half is one of those years, obviously.
Yeah.
He just needs to get close. He needs another year like that.
Yeah.
Maybe not 17 and a half. You know what I mean?
They're like
Because-
15.
Yeah, they're
15,
not paying you for 8, 9. You know what I mean?
no.
You gotta get up over there. 13, 14,
You got to
15.
get up over there.
You know, you got to get into that level, man. And he can. He's very capable of doing it. And I think the more he's on the field, the better. And again, Eric inside, and then Trayvon and whoever number 4 is. It should be good. They
He
should
also
be
has
feeding.
more snaps than all of them, other than Myles Garrett too.
Okay, good, dependable,
Yeah.
durable.
Who do the Packers open up with?
What's
I do
that?
not know actually.
Packers open up with the Lions.
Oh, yeah, I did know that.
Okay.
Yeah, so next Sunday, 4:25 kick, Lions at the Packers. So we'll have Aiden Hutchinson on
Yep.
one side
Yep.
and Micah Parsons on the other side.
Yeah. How about that?
I'm very
That'll be
glad
a
that
fun
game's
game.
4:25 and not 1 o'clock, since the
Yeah, that's
Jags
gonna
play
be
at
a
1
tough one.
o'clock. So.
Listen, Detroit. I know they've lost a lot, right? Coordinators,
Right. Both coordinators. Yep.
people. You know, I'm not counting them out. You know what I liked? I heard Dan Campbell made a comment, I think last week. They were asking him about culture.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I feel like it's so set now that I could walk away and we wouldn't miss a beat. And I was like,
confident.
man, that's something. If you can do that as a head coach, and I really believe that. I don't know if he could really do that,
Yeah.
but feeling that way, he's like, yeah, that we wouldn't. I feel like we wouldn't miss a beat. Like they'd run just how we're running right now without me. And that says something about being able to get that culture embedded into your locker room.
Yeah.
So you get that, and man, you get everybody on the, it's
Yeah.
great. It's a fun feeling where everybody's like just wanting to win all the time and put in the work, and the work doesn't feel like work because you're winning. You know what I mean? You're willing to do the extra stuff. It feels good to do it.
Yeah.
You know, you can keep me out there longer if you want to. I don't care.
Sure.
We're winning. It's worth it. So hopefully we can get to that. But I think they're working on it. I think with Tony Baselli and Liam and James, and they've looked good before, like we got to change things. It's not just the talent. Got to change the talent. You've seen that. They've gutted the team, but they got to change everything else inside that locker room. So huge. So I think they're on the right path. And if they get that together, man, it could be a real fun couple years, maybe even long, maybe 3 years, 4 years, whatever
Yeah,
it is.
I'll take several in a row. Of
We'll start with
winning,
one.
which
Let's
we
start
haven't
with
seen
one.
since
Yeah.
the early 90s. By the way, Packers at the Cowboys, September 28th, 8:20 p.m. game on that one.
That'll be very interesting.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. By the way, reminder, Rick Ballou on 10:10 a.m. coming up at 4 o'clock. We'll say hello to the Frangie Show live from Poor Tap Room here in a second. But college football, y'all, where will you be watching all this slate of games this weekend?
Different places for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, most probably at home, I think. I think we're going out tonight.
Okay.
I told my wife, I said, after this show, let's go do some stuff.
Let's go do some stuff.
Let's go do some stuff and have some fun. And I think our daughters are going to join us, so it'll be
Very
a good
nice.
time. But then, probably at the house, probably just relaxing. Maybe go to Monkey's Uncle because that's a fun place to watch college football. We'll see, but I'll be watching. Listen, I'm not going to lie. It's Saturday night. I get sleepy after a certain period of time if I'm at home on the couch. And I'll check out the highlights for sure. There's no doubt.
I get
Sleepy.
I do. I get, it's weird. I can sit on the couch, and it could be any time of day, and you could be having a conversation with me, and next thing you know, like, I think my brain's like, oh, we don't have to think. We don't really have to think.
Just fall asleep.
There's no creativity going on. There's nothing spinning. Nothing's going. Like, yeah, you're good. Just go take a nap.
It's funny. I live in like two very different worlds when it comes to if I'm out and going, I can go. But when I am at home, I take like 3 naps on a Saturday. I snack all day long. But if I'm out drinking, like, I'll go all day. I'll forget to eat. I'm just like, it's very different worlds.
Or even like playing cards. I could play cards all night. But if we're not going to do anything, I could play pool all night. I love shooting pool, like wherever it is. I love shooting pool. That keeps me active.
You're still thinking and doing so. Yeah.
So, but once I settle down, my body's just like, all right, I guess it's time to go night. I got to fight it. It's challenging from time to time.
Yeah, we'll probably be at home. Brian got a pork butt, so he'll be smoking that. This is my favorite time of year, as you well know. It's also this person's favorite time of year.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hayes, I know it's just Long Island, but as you're broadcasting live from Poor Tap Room, I feel like people are going to be there to watch DJ Lagway, Jaden Baugh, and the like tomorrow night.
Hey, sorry guys.
You're good.
Yeah, obviously, DJ Lagway is going to be the star of the show. But look, you also get to see Billy Donovan get honored for going into the Naismith Hall of Fame. That'll be a really cool moment for the fans. Obviously, Billy Donovan is a favorite son of the University of Florida, winning 2 basketball national championships. So, that'll be a lot of fun, and you won't back down. You get that at the end of the third quarter. So it should be a really fun night under the lights. Should be very drama-free if Billy Napier is got a good handle on things. So, it should be kind of a scrimmage vibe, I would think, in the swamp with Long Island. But, hopefully they can stay healthy and, move on to what looks now to be a pretty good test in South Florida. So that should be good. But obviously can't wait to see what Florida State has for Alabama. LSU Clemson's going to be fantastic. Can't wait to see Carson Beck as a Cane and what that looks like. And obviously, Texas Ohio State is a fantastic lid lifter tomorrow at noon. So, it should be glorious. And we get Belichick Monday night. I don't know what to expect with that one, but it will certainly be interesting. So, it's going to be fantastic. And, we're a week away from the Panthers arriving into town to face the Jaguars. So lots to get to. We're excited to be at Poor Tap Room. They've got amazing options here. And it's a very cool facility. So come out, say hey to us, and tell us who you think is going to win the national championship or the Super Bowl.
I love it. And I'm sure they'll play Kanye's Gold Digger Monday night with Belichick.
I would think they're trying to trademark it.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know what is going on in those offices, but okay, so we'll see. TCU's favored. So we'll see. Belichick gets off to an 0-1 start. It'll be interesting to see if he's the coach in week 2, because he may just say, I'm out of here. You guys figure it out, and I'm going to go do something else. But anyway, it should be a fun Franchi show coming up. Pete Prisco's going to join us at 5:15. So certainly excited to be here and look forward to seeing everybody coming out.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
All right, there he goes again. Poor Tap Room for Frangie and Carline, and then Rick Ballou with Into the Night. Will be on 10 a.m. beginning in just a few minutes. That'll do it for us. Have a great weekend. The great first weekend of college
If
football.
my picks suck, we can say this is our preseason.
We'll see. We'll have that conversation. For RJ Saunders, for Taylor Dahl, for Tom McManus, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you on